Welcome technicians. Today we look into how to receive the sample from IP, that is from NICU, PICU, from emergency department, from OT and all the wards together. Okay, so we have opened the HIS. So you will go to the new session and then you enter your username, password, and then you log in. So once you log in, again the lab front office approval will come, which you need to change it into specimen collection lab, right? So when you go to specimen collection lab, so you have so many options, whichever sample which has come, so you click on it, you open it, and then you have what is the test. And once you do that, you select whatever you want to select. So whichever sample which has come, you select and you give approve. The moment you put it as approved, so your barcode will give you the barcodes like this, and once the barcode is available, it is ready. So every now and then it may so happen that request may not have been generated. For example, in case of emergency department and all, they may not have registered the patient yet, means there is no patient has not come into HIS. So during that time, what you need to do is you have to make sure that they have entered the patient name and things in the book. Okay, so something like this. So they would have written the patient name and what is the test to be required, and they would have signed that so and so test they are sending. Now you have to ensure that whoever is signing, you are able to identify them, so that once tomorrow when HIS request is generated, you can understand what exactly to be acknowledged and all. Okay, so even though from all the wards they are supposed to bring a book like this, and in this book, once you identify the patient and everything, you are supposed to put one more barcode here and sign on it. This is because many of the times we have seen that the nurses will tell that they have sent the sample to the lab and the lab has not yet given the report. And actually when you look at it, we see that the sample has never came to the lab in the first place, and later on they will tell that it is late and all. So what happens with this behavior is, you are making sure that the barcode is telling at what date and what time this sample is received by us. Okay, so that means you need to have three things. One, if it is coming from an emergency department where the patient doesn't registered yet, so they have to send you a book. On the book they have to write the patient name, age and the UHID number, and write what are the tests. And during that time you have to make sure that you are assigning with the date and time. Or you can also generate the manual barcode which is present in our computer. So manually you can enter the patient name, so automatically date and time comes in the barcode and you can stick on it. In from IP wards, MICU, NICU, OT and all those areas, they have to bring the book and they have to put the request. Only after putting the request, immediately when you are receiving, you are putting the barcode like this, and you are pasting this barcode also into that book, and you are signing it. Okay, so once you do that, you are all, this is the main book which we can maintain in our lab. So these are all the lab numbers. So lab numbers, as you know, it all starts from A1, A2, A3 like that, and it will go all the way up to 9,999. And after that, A, B, C, D like that on, it goes on. And on December 31st night, we always change the number. So know that, in every year, what is the number going on, it becomes easy. Okay, so subsequently, once the Z is over, then we start AA like that, AA1, AA2 like that, and it goes on up to 9,999. And then AB1, AB2, and then again it goes to 9,999. And at present we are using AAT. Okay, AS and AS we are using, and now we have started with AT. Okay, so AT is the present lab number. So for every sample that comes into the lab, so you are taking the barcode, you are putting our lab number, and you are noting down what is the test, and you are pasting it. So by doing that, you know exactly at what date and what time this sample has reached the lab, right? So once that is done, immediately you collect it and then it is approved, and then immediately the same thing will come to department receive. So from the department you are receiving it again, and then immediately it will come to result entry. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are identifying the patient properly. The name and UHID number of the patient you should always recognize properly. This is especially very important because in every ward there may be similar patients might have been joined, means in the IP, like for example Ibrahim Khalil or Abu Bakr or Fatima or B Fatima, like that there will be multiple patients with similar names in different wards. So you have to make sure that you identify them by the UHID number and the name together. Okay, this is very important. So only then you can continue. So you see what is this test and then acknowledge the test, write it in the in this book. So you put the barcode and you receive the sample. Okay, so once you receive the sample, it comes into the result entry. So once it comes in the result entry, automatically depending upon what is the test, see for example, so this is the patient where the sample has already come. So you open it and then you enter the value. See for example, this is the glucose random as well as glycosylated hemoglobin, both are done in a C311 instrument, and the moment the test is done, immediately the interfacing will happen, and once the interface will happen, so immediately you can save it. So once it is saved, it will automatically go to the next this thing that we will discuss as we go along. Okay, so this is how you receive. So make it as a point that if in emergency the sample is coming where patient is not yet registered, at that time the staff has to bring the book where they have written the patient name and the test they want to get it done, and on the vacutainer the patient name and whatever identification, if the UHID is not created, at least the proper patient name should be written on the vacutainer. So you identify both, you take our own manual barcode, you stick on those vacutainers and you stick it on the book also to make sure that at what date and what time the sample is received, and then you sign on the book also to tell that there's such a sample you have received. So if it is coming from the IP, you have to ensure that the request is generated in the HIS, and then they are bringing the book again, so where patient name and the tests are written. So the HIS test and the book test should match each other, and once that is done, you take a barcode, you stick the barcode to their book also and you sign it, and then you stick the same thing into our book also and you sign it. So once you have signed it and you have received the sample, now everything is understood that it is proper, and now further testing has to go along. Okay, so this is how IP samples are received in our lab. Okay, thank you.